Good day and welcome to the KVV Training Centre. My name is Mariette van Zyl. When signing an offer to purchase, where a purchaser decides to finance his purchase price through a mortgage bond, a bank will grant such a bond upon application by the purchaser. As soon as the application is granted, the bank will issue a quotation to the purchaser to accept. Once it is accepted, the bond is finally granted and the instructions sent to an attorney to do the registration of the bond. This is important to note, as the bank will not send this instruction to any attorney of the purchaser's choice necessarily. The bank will send this instruction to an attorney that's on the bank's panel, and most banks these days make use of what they call auto-allocation, in terms of which they only instruct attorneys that are on their top performing panels. Why does the bank register a mortgage bond? It is for the bank's security. Should ever the day come and you default and don't pay your bond installment, the bank needs to know that they can attach the property and sell it on auction to recuperate the monies owed to them. In order to do this, a mortgage bond needs to be registered in the deeds office against the title deed of the property, and certain documentation needs to be signed at the office of the attorney. Once the attorney receives a bond instruction, there are certain steps that must be followed. Firstly, the attorney will contact the transfer attorney and request guarantee requirements and a copy of the draft deed. The reason for this is that the bond document that is lodged in the deeds office must follow the exact wording of the title deed and look exactly the same. Once the draft deed and guarantee requirements is received, as well as copies of the client's FICA documents, the bond attorney can draft the documents for signature by the clients. There are various documents that must be signed in the office of the bond attorney. It will be the loan agreement and the quotation from the bank, as well as other documentation that is prescribed by the bank to be signed. This includes the debit order, authority to pay, consents to marketing options, indemnity documents, as well as provision for insurance, such as homeowners cover and life cover. Further to the above, the bond attorney must also adhere to the bank's FICA requirements, which can be very strict. In other words, it's more than just an ID and a proof of residence, but complete FICA as prescribed by the bank. As soon as the documents are drafted, the client can sign in the office of the bond attorney. Once the client has signed, the bond attorney can issue the guarantees to the transferring attorneys, which is an important document confirming to the transferring attorneys that the money will be paid out on date of registration. Then it's important for the bond attorney to send the documents to the bank to confirm that everything is in order for the bond attorney to proceed with registration. A bank employee will scrutinize the documents and make sure that everything is in accordance with the bank's requirements. As soon as the bank is happy that everything is in order, they will issue the attorney with what is called a proceed instruction. As soon as the proceed instruction is received, the bond attorney is ready for lodgement in the deeds office. However, at this point, the client must also pay the bond registration costs, which is a cost that is payable by the purchaser of the property. As soon as the transfer attorney is also ready for registration, the transfer attorney will contact the bond attorney, and together they will lodge the transfer and the bond registration in the deeds office, as both must register simultaneously. Once the deeds office has scrutinized the documents will come up on preparation for registration, and then it will be put forward for registration. Upon date of registration, the property is transferred into the name of the purchaser, and the bond in favor of the bank is simultaneously registered. At this point, the purchaser becomes the new owner, and the bank becomes the bondholder over the property. The bank will now release the guarantees as issued by the bond attorneys, in other words, the payment of the amount of the bond that will reflect into the account of the transfer attorneys the day after registration. At this point, the bond registration process is complete. The only outstanding item will be the delivery of the title deeds to the bank. The bank will hold the title deeds as security for payment of the bond and will only release them to the purchaser or the new owner as soon as the bond has been settled and paid up. Thank you.